Well, hey, welcome along, everyone. We've got the last 20 or so seconds of this pre-race warm-up session. Oh dear. Oh dear, we're in split 2. Split 2 of 3. Just gonna check that. Hopefully, everything will work with the stream. Yeah, car 2 and split 2. Really what I wanted. I'd rather be down the back of split 1, to be honest. But yeah, 3 splits, 20 drivers each. Set up just the iRacing set with taken out, so we've got to be nice and get gentle on our outlap in order to have enough fuel to do both laps.
Okay, Adrian, we've got 2 laps to get the job done. The track temp's increasing. It's now 36 Celsius.
Howdy, Smokey. Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you've had a good weekend. Really? That's the way it is it? Well, unfortunately, today is Sunday for me, and tomorrow's Monday. Isn't too bad.
The leader has just done 130.37. Sector 2 is 1.0 seconds off the pace. The leader has just done a 128.32.
Ooh. Yeah, we're not doing a 28.3, I can tell you that much. Alright, full beans lap. See what we can get out of it. Hope we've got enough fuel.
Sixth place. Car in front's lap time is at 1:31.25. Sector 2 is 0.6 off the pace.
Too much curb.
P3, you're currently 1.3 seconds off the pace.
1.3 seconds. Ye goodness. Ooh. Yeah, 29.6 is pretty nice. I'm not unhappy with that. Even if I got the fastest lap I've done, I don't think I would have. It was a 29.1, so yeah. Hey, a 30.8 is still pretty respectable, Marco. Good luck in the race. Bit concerning that someone's...
That's the end of the session. P4.
I don't know if Adam ever watches my streams, but if you do, Adam, I'm sorry. Gonna have to leave the conversation there. Difficult to type in gloves and in a VR headset. Thanks, Marco. Good luck to you. All right. Taking a risk with the fuel here. P4. I think mediums and box early. I think that's all I can do. Mediums box early.
Your strength of field is 2,400. Alright Adrian, we should do well here. We're expecting you to finish in the top 3:53 laps.
Right, buckle in everyone. Thanks, Mikey. Running the clock right out. I thought I was going to be last on the grid.
This will be a standing start. Let's go. The next car is McDonald. The gap to P2 ahead is increasing. It's now 1.0. The gap to Francisco behind is now 1.0.
Unfortunately, we may drop a bit here because I think Adam at least has medium downforce on and we've got high downforce.
Cut the track.
Flip
Keep it
and
nice and
heck.
tight, please, Adrian.
Yeah, Francesco's going to get us.
Leave car right. Clear right.
Idiot. I didn't have time to practice a medium downforce set, so I might have been able to have some time if the Grand Prix wasn't in the afternoon. Fortunately, by the time I got the stuff I needed to do done today, watch the Grand
Car in
Prix.
front of us is Francisco, and their rating is 3.0.
It was dinner time, and then race time, so... Oops, some people have had oopsies. Come on, Adrian.
The leader's just done it.
Bloody hell.
32.82. Okay, Adrian, ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits. P4, you've just done it. 135.02. Clear right.
Certainly will be, Smokey.
The gap to E3 in front is now 0.8.
Come on, Adrian. It's like you've never driven the Casio Triangle before.
Marco behind is now 0.45. Okay, Adrian, pit window open. Right side.
Yeah, go, Marco.
Right. We'll need to refuel by lap 50. Come on, keep pushing.
I think you're overestimating things a bit, Jim. So I've read some figures very wrong. We should be fine. Yeah, we're going to be fine.
The next car is Marco, and their rating is 3.0.
I think provided I'm the lead high downforce runner, I'm probably happy with the outcome of this race.
The gap to Marco ahead is now 0.8. Okay, Adrian, come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. E5. That lap time was 1:34.68. There's an incident in turn 2. You think it might be Francisco?
Oh. Sorry to see that.
The next car is McDonald.
Puts us back in P3.
The gap to Marcin behind is increasing. It's now 1.8 seconds. Keep it up, we're looking good here. P3. That last lap was at 1:34.17.
Right, we took a risk with the fuel. It's paying off so far. Say we take a risk with the soft tyres as well. So 35 laps is lap 18.
To Marcin behind is now 2.8 seconds. That was 1:33.89. It's your best lap in this session.
But we could probably get closer to a 20 on the middle stint as well without dropping too much time. So any time from lap 15, I reckon we're good. Depending on there being a gap to box into. Which right at the moment there's a beautiful gap.
The gap to P4 behind is now 3.4 seconds.
Screwed up that braking.
The lap time was at 1:33.83. That's your quickest lap in this session.
Smokey, I think the softs are a mixed bag. I'm not a lot faster on them. Probably half a second a lap at their best. Maybe 3/4 if I'm lucky. And very, very good. But apart from those flashes of brilliance, about half second feels right. The trouble is they go off. They start going off around lap 10. Around lap 10 to 12. You just get slow for no reason. Or seemingly no reason. You know, you see your times crawl from the, you know, mid-low 133s to high 133s, and then all of a sudden you're mid 134s.
Your last lap time was at 1:34.14.
So the thing I'm mentally trying to balance out is
behind is now 2.9.
how quickly the tyres will turn from faster than the mediums to perhaps slower than the mediums if they wear quickly or degrade quickly. Lap 18 is probably the safe one, now that I'm not in a pitched battle.
Alright Adrian, the next car is Russia, and their rating is 2.7.
Need to stop going deep at that chicane.
The gap behind is now 3.6. The car ahead is McDonald.
Looks like it's a pitch battle for the lead.
P3.
that was so close to... Oh. Did anyone else see a skeleton in a comically large black robe with a scythe on the outside there?
Gap to U4 behind is now 3.9. Car number 6 is leading the race.
Oh, they're fighting backwards and forwards.
135.12.
Come on.
The gap to Marcin behind is now 4.1 seconds. McDonald, car number 1 is now in the lead.
Come on, Adam. Not that I have anything against Dagan, but I know Adam. That was better. Still slow on exit, but safe. Adam's in the lead up the S's.
Okay, Adrian, the next car is Lucia, and their rating is 2.7. Marcin is getting closer. The gap's now 4.1 seconds.
Don't know if that was my brake trailing being screwy or these tyres are starting to give up, front tyres starting to give up. Oof.
That lap was at 135.21.
How early can we go on the softs? Laps left right now.
The gap to P4. Behind is increasing. It's now 3.7.
We've got a gap. Box into will be in P8. One more lap to see if we can get a bit of a bigger gap for P9.
You've just done a 135.10.
Oh, push those a bit hard.
It's getting closer. The gap's come down to 1.7 seconds. You're a second off the pace in sector 2.
Timothy, curse you being quick.
Gap to May behind is now 1.5.
I think I have to box just to try something different. Let's do that.
Box in 340 meters.
Indeed, Smokey, why not?
100 meters. 50 meters. Right front 66%. Left rear 84. Martin is now on softs. He takes it as clear. Cold tyres all round. The car in front is Marco, and their rating is 3.0.
Oh good, Marco's still racing. We want to be fast on these, but we also want to baby them in. It's
The gap behind is now 4.9 seconds.
a horrible conundrum.
Russia is now on softs. Seventh position.
Yeah, not sure if they were all planned or whether they followed me in. Probably better if you're ever, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I might like to try one of those races, it's probably better to work out your own strategy beforehand.
The leader, McDonald, is pitting.
If you need some help, community's there, you can ask away. We'll give you a hand working out what's best.
The leader is now on softs. Car number 8 is now leading. The quickest at the moment, that lap was at 1:33.22. Marco in, the gap is 4.4. They're pretty slow into the hairpin. Fastest lap for Russia, 1:31.34. That lap was at 1:32.24. That's your best lap in the session. Front is now 2.4.
We don't have any battery.
You're reeling E6 in. The gap is now 1.5 seconds.
Yes, Marco hasn't been to the pits yet. Fair play.
That's a new fastest lap for McDonald, 1:31.00.
Oh, that was the right spot for the second curb. It's so lovely. When you just roll over it, it feels like it's barely there at all.
Just done at 1:32.78. Schneider is now on softs.
So possible damage,
The hairpin looks like it's Musha.
lower downforce, and 18, 19 lap old tyres.
McDonald, car number 1, is leading the race.
I think Marco's probably faster than us, but
There's an incident in.
not at the moment.
Looks like May. Left side. Clear left. May is now on softs. The driver in front of us is Schmidt, and their rating is 2.2. Adrian, you're reeling. Schmidt in. The gap's now 0.30. They're pretty slow through the hairpin. Left. Clear left, E2. Nice pass. There's an incident in Dunlop curve. You think it might be May?
Oh no, Tim. Well, Dagan has disconnected, so that was a serious incident that we heard Jim announce earlier.
Gap to E3 behind is increasing. It's now 2.0 seconds.
I think Adam's checked out at this stage. Bye, Tim. Sorry to see that.
That was a 1:32.61.
Second place now. Do you mean Marco or Sasha or?
The gap to V3 behind is increasing. It's now 4.3 seconds.
Ah, yes, so he's current P3, yeah.
That lap time
Definitely
was
racing Marco.
33.19. Sectors 1 and 3 are 0.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.30 off the pace. Now 6.5 seconds. Your last lap time was at 1:33.22. Okay, Adrian, the next car is one lap behind.
Ugh. Inside locking, I had to get off the brake there. Ooh. Hot work this. Should have turned the air conditioner on.
The gap to V3 behind is now 7.4. P2 at last lap was at 1:33.13.
I assume Marco's trying to make the one stop work. And if it's a one-stop to, well, I assume it's a one-stop to softs. Right now we're averaging about 1.5 or more, slightly more, 1.7 seconds over 5 laps. Better, faster than Marco, so give it a month and I'll need a heater. Maybe. For a week.
Gap to E3 behind is now 9.7 seconds. Track temperature's decreasing. It's now 32 Celsius.
Yeah. The thing is, if the people you're fighting hit into traffic and get held up, the two-stop, you know, that hurts a two-stop, ending up in traffic. If you're doing like a medium hard versus their medium soft, or a hard medium, and the tire can just stay more consistent so you don't have drop off, then that's also, you know, potentially good. But a lot of the time it's a case of being on the faster tyre and driving faster. Sounds simplistic, but
red yellow flag, there's debris on the track.
someone's heading off. No, next round isn't Miami.
Lap time was 1:33.38. That's good consistency, keep it up.
Formula One, quite understandably, has to cancel the next 2 rounds, and for them, Miami is the next round. However, in 2 weeks, we're going to the Nürburgring GP. And then I think it's a week after that or 2 weeks after that, we're off to another Italian track, our second for the year, Imola. Oh, sorry, I should say Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari.
That lap time was 1:33.41.
The good thing about the Nürburgring is it's later in the year than sometimes it is. We've had it a couple of years as the tour opener, and it's just cold as anything. Track temps 19 degrees, air temps 18 degrees, that sort of thing.
P3 behind is increasing. It's now 13 seconds.
And I mean, it's not hard on tyres anyway, but I don't think iRacing implements enough tyre detail to have full-on cold graining, which is what you would be getting in those super low temps. Especially considering we're running C2, C3, C4. But yeah, being a little later in the year, hopefully it's a bit warmer.
You've just done a 134.00.
Certainly hoping more for NLS round 2 weather than NLS 1 weather.
The Marco behind is now 13 seconds.
So yeah, it's a shame that F1's had to cancel their events. I understand it's the right thing to do, but since virtual events are nice and safe, we can continue to run. I quite like racing Nürburgring in these cars, so well, obviously not the Nordschleife, the GP circuit. Quite fun. And Imola, if you can get in the groove, and I'm not always in the groove, but if you can get in the groove, it's fun as well. Throwing it into the Villeneuve chicane, getting the Tosa hairpin just right so you've got a high minimum speed and you just grip around there. And
the track temperature's rising, it's now 34 Celsius.
Yeah, it's good fun. The only not fun part is the Variante Alta chicane. Well, look, Adelaide just missed out on the vote. Would have been interesting. I think for modern F1, Adelaide's a bit small. I mean, it's not just me that says that, it's the actual rules of the series.
134.00.
Minimum circuit lengths meant to be 3.5 kilometers for an FIA grade 1 circuit. A full Grand Prix would be 92 laps, I think, or 93 laps.
Red yellow flag, watch for debris on the track.
Back in the day, when they used the longer circuit, it was 87 laps, but it's already pretty high. And we unfortunately on iRacing don't have the
Coming
longer
behind us now,
circuit.
16 seconds.
It's going to be interesting to see if iRacing comes back to scan the MotoGP version of Adelaide. Because I believe that's what the supercars will be using from now on. Or once they build it. But I don't think it's going to be that much longer.
The lap time was at 1:34.11.
We should probably box for another set of softs.
Marco behind.
Hang on to it, Felipe.
Now 18 seconds.
This is Felipe ahead's first Grand Prix Tour. Congratulations.
Pit lane speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour. 100 meters. 50 meters. Front right, 65%. Rear right, 80. Your exit's clear. Watch the white line. The car in front of us is Marcin, and their rating is 2.2. McDonald is pitting. You're reeling Marcin in. The gap's now 1.0 seconds. They're slower than us through first S's. Track temperature's falling. It's now 32 Celsius. Red and yellow flag for debris.
Oh, so sorry to hear that, Marco. Yeah, I saw that you I saw you have the incident in turn 2. I didn't see enough of it to know what happened. I assumed you were still carrying damage from that. Because at the start, I think you were definitely faster than me. But sorry to hear you've had a bad race. Now.
Schneider behind is pitting.
Unfortunately, with Marco out, the race is difficult in a different way from what it was going to be if Marco was still racing.
Fastest lap for McDonald, 1:30.68.
Adams way too fast, but we're also essentially a pit stop ahead of P3. Which means it's difficult because we've got almost a third of a GP to maintain concentration for, not hit a curb wrong and throw it into a wall, like the exit of turn 2, like the exit of Degner 2. How much fuel did you put in, mate? How many kilos? I thought I was taking a risk, but I could have probably taken 2 more kilos out. I had 91. Which I seem to remember, because it's a high downforce set, it does use more fuel, so if you're on a medium downforce set, you might be in the 80s easily. Yeah, I could be using 1.81, I'm using 1.67. That was last lap.
That was at 1:33.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you would have been fine with 89 undamaged, but with the damage, yeah. Yeah, you'd have to choose between making it on fuel but being ridiculously slow, or not making it on fuel and just being slow. Oof. Yeah, that sucks. It's always a difficult thing if you start running it close. Really is a skill to drive without using a lot of fuel in any car. But I think definitely in this one, where the braking zones are so short, the difference between I've lifted and coasted and now I'm braking later, and I powered right up to the braking point,
132.52.
is not all that long. It's not just the braking distance that are super short in this thing, it's also the speed that you approach the braking point. Alright, slightly breaking the illusion there with the
That's your fastest lap today.
with the mouse appearing.
Track temperature's decreasing. It's now 30 Celsius. That lap was at 132.24.
Could this be another personal fastest lap? 31.4.
Good luck. That's your
Nice.
best in the session.
Well,
Sectors
4.9.
2 and 3 are 0.5 off the pace. Sector 1 time's okay.
The leader's running 31.4. Ah, but it was a 31.498. Mine was an 8.9. Mind you, it also wasn't purple, so obviously Adam's probably done faster. Ten laps to go.
Your lap time was 1:32.00.
I bet those crazies in the top split are doing 29s as regular race laps, 28s as regular race laps.
There's an incident in turn 12. Looks like it's Daniel.
That car is a lap down. That's okay.
That was a 1:32.77.
Spent lots of time in an iRacing Formula 1 car a lap down in my past. Back in the McLaren MP430 days, I was often a car getting lapped, and the races were only 66%.
Left side, clear left.
Sorry about that.
Alright Adrian, the next car is 2 laps behind.
I've spent time driving 2 laps behind as well. Whew. See, the only issue with going on the inside like that,
73. Sectors 2 and 3 are 0.7 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.39 off the pace.
is then either I have to chase to get the slipstream, or I don't get the slipstream. Which means I'm behind you as a blue flag for longer. The only reason to pull over like that is if you're gonna lift. Oh, Daniel. I think Daniel was too worried about me, not worried enough about driving. Hope that wasn't the case.
That was at 133.18. Sector 2 is a second off the pace.
Yeah, sorry to see that, Daniel. I'm not under any pressure. I was happy to wait till I was either going to get Daniel up hit this straight if the exit from Spoon was bad enough, if their exit from Spoon, but concentrate on driving the car, then speaking, Adrian. If their exit from Spoon was bad enough, I would have passed up the hill before 130R. If not,
that was at 132.00.
Take the draft, build the battery, grab DRS, and scoot past on the main straight. Wasn't going to lose me any time that I couldn't afford to lose. I'm not going to catch Adam. He's not ahead of me on the relative, he's behind. While I'm certainly lapping around his current pace, I think he's probably got some in the tank. And now Adam's directly behind me on track, having just lapped Marson. That was 5 laps to go. Now 4 laps to go.
You've just done a 132.60.
I think these tyres are past their prime. They still feel okay, but the relative just creeps up. Every acceleration zone, it's just adding tenths, or hundredths, then tenths. The only way to give Marston some hope is for me to go a lap down, and I'd really rather complete all the laps. I've done that in the 2 races I actually finished, completed all the laps. So it'd be nice to say that when I got on the podium I completed all the laps.
You've just done a 132.80.
I'd still come out a long way ahead of Adam if I boxed. I think. Yeah. Still come out a fair way ahead. That's a lot of risky things. Turning into the pit entry lane, braking in the pit entry lane with the walls right there. Risking a speeding before the line. Getting smack in my pit box on a pit lane that's really difficult to stop for because it's downhill, slippery concrete, and the pit boxes are, I think, a little too far away, and they've got steps.
Last lap was at 132.43.
And on pit exit there's the risk of speeding again, like releasing the limiter too early. And there's cold tyre risk. Wonder we pit at all. Hi Adam, passing underneath us.
Two laps left. We're on for a podium here. That lap time was 133.75.
White flag.
Last lap, bring it on home. Come on, Adrian. That was 134.12. Is the winner.
Terrible hairpin. Terrible hairpin.
Litres left. And there's the finish. We're on the podium. Awesome stuff. That's
Well
the
done,
end
everyone.
of the session.
See you next time. Brilliant set on grooves.
Congrats, Adam. Congrats, everyone. Great racing.
Yeah, we need to be in the top split next time, Adrian.
Mate, it's 3.7k. I don't know how you aren't.
I don't know. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, you too, mate. Have a good week. I know I won't speak to him next weekend. Hey, thanks, Smokey. Just to talk to me. Ooh. Thanks, Marco. Let's have a look at let's start. I'd like to see how things went on the start. Stop rewinding. Start. It's the chopper. We got a little puff of wheel spin. Who was that? That had part of Kimi Antonelli tonight was played by Stefan Schneider. It was very similar, wasn't it? Just lots of wheel spin. Everyone ploughing past. Feel sorry for you, Stefan. Had that happen once or twice. I was just willing Adam on here. Right. Sorry, Marco, we need to have a look at what happens to you. Is it... Came steaming through past me. There I am. I just passed by Francesco because I had doing really bad Casios for the first, like, I forgot how to drive it for the first 10 laps or something. Terrible. Terrible. Sorry, Mark. The... It was turn 2, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it's already happened because you're back in P9. You're P4. I should be behind you. I'm P5. Oh, around the outside. Oh. There's netcode involved there, but... Yeah. I think Francesco just pushed it a little bit there. I think probably since you're in... I don't know whether you got the clear call, which you might have just there. Yeah, you were just... Yeah, I think watching it full speed, it's easy to understand how Francesco did that, but that's kind of unfortunate. I mean, if you were wider, maybe it would have happened. If Francesco was not understeering quite so much. I mean, when you look at the hang on, this is you, Francesco. Look at the steering angle. That's the steering angle that's on there. And as we go corner, we just start leaving the apex behind, despite having quite a lot of steering angle in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's not malicious or, clearly anyone's fault. It's just one of those things that happens in racing in real life and in online racing especially. That being okay, and being a little caught out by your face there. Oh, that kind of looks to me. That looks like someone who's made the decision. I'm going down the inside here. Has assumed you're going to just take the racing line. You have quite correctly just driven a defensive line. You haven't gone left, held your wheel straight. That's a big ouchie. Is there a better TV camera? Yep, I'm not getting that back. I'm really sorry that happened. There was no reason for that. I mean, the thing is that if you find yourself like here, you might feel like you're keeping pace. Your regen lights are flashing, you know, you're clipping, and you just lift. And then you don't hit the other driver. You go into that corner, you get DRS, and you pass down the main straight. It's not great, not great. What else do we need to look at? I'd like to see what happened to Dagan. A couple of it. Currently running in P1. Ooh. They both took liberties there. But yeah, Adam didn't. Very optimistic move by Adam. From a long way back. Oh, there's a twitch. Oh, look at this. This might have been a bit over optimistic the lap before, but this is some good quality sim racing. Defended to the inside, not too early. No one's blocked. Giving each other room. It's like that. Lots of room for netcode as well. So, in the end, Adams passed Dagan at this time. Oh. Timothy. A little bit slow. Oh. Big misjudgment there. Probably ruined Timothy's race as well. And then Adam here thought that was a present. There you go. There we go. Lots of drama. And there we have it. Another 53 laps of Suzuka. My last 53 laps for the 2026 iRacing Grand Prix Tour. Got a couple of weeks off now. We'll be back with the Nürburgring on the weekend that should have been Saudi Arabia. So Formula One won't be racing that weekend, but we'll be racing that weekend. Looking forward to racing with you again, Marco. It was fun. I definitely think you were gonna beat me. But yeah, see the two of us on the track here. Smokey, been a pleasure as always, and thanks for looking in. And yeah, hope everyone has a great week and a very happy and safe Easter. Catch you later.